Right, I am here with Victoria Dougherty. Hey, Victoria.
Hey, how are you? It's good to see you again.
Ew, thanks for being on again. So you're in Indianapolis with High Garden Real Estate,
That's
and
right.
you just went full time. Like it hasn't been that long. It's been a few months, right?
Right. And you're right. It's been a few months. It felt like it's already been 2 years at
Right,
the
it
speed it's
hasn't.
going. Yeah, no.
How long were you part time?
So I've had my license for 15 years. I've been part-time for over 14 years and
That's a
then
long
made the
time.
leap.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Okay.
yeah.
So,
Well, but to be fair, I raised 3 children in that time.
mhm,
So that's why I was part-time. Now they're all independent and I can do my own thing.
right. They're 7 years old, independent. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were going to talk today about going from part-time to full-time. And you had said like hindsight is 2020. Here's like what I wish that I knew and share some of that insight with us.
Yes. And I'm almost so frustrated now that it took me this long to make the leap. I will say I chose the absolute worst time for me personally to go full time
Mhm.
because my husband had just taken a pay cut. He's on a small base with a commission anyway. And I had just come back from a 4-month medical leave and I was not 100%. But I will say the one thing I should have had the confidence in is I work so much better under pressure.
Yeah.
And knowing that I had to succeed and had to set goals that I would achieve, it really helped lift my performance. But it also gave me more time to work smarter, not harder. So I'm out in the community now, I'm networking, I'm getting involved, I'm volunteering. And that was a huge component to me being so much more successful this year over any time previously.
Is that because like, and just to give some people some context, like you had a full-time job. So like
I
now,
had a 40-hour, yes, a 40-hour full-time job that also, and I don't think I've told you this, there were additional events on the weekends that I had to do with that job.
oh, so it's like a realtor.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing you say is like, I'm asking you, are you saying that like now that you're a business owner, you could organize your day and do your task and make your own goals versus having them dictated to you by somebody else? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, 100%. And I've also learned through the years that I really should not be working for other people. I'm much better on my own.
We could have all
Much
told you
better.
that. You
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
all your friends. So
I
you had
was
all, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I've always kind of been a free spirit, so I don't know why I felt the rules never applied to me, but in this business, that mindset works fabulously.
Right. You had also said that there were things that people were telling you on how to go from part-time to full-time that you were like, that's bullshit. What were
Yeah,
like,
I even told you specifically, I said I thought they were full of shit.
right,
Like, one,
right,
I, I just thought they were just telling me that because they wanted to see me more around the brokerage or wanted to, put all this pressure on me. And gosh,
what
if
were
I
they telling
just
you?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing that I'm doing now. Get out in the community, make your calls. I tell you all the time too. I hate cold calling, but I tell you what, I have the time now to call all my clients. I
Right,
can cold call no problem. You know why? Because it's bringing in paychecks, and I'm
right.
happy about
Yeah,
that.
like you're linking your activities. You have done a very good job. And I think that's something that maybe you take for granted that you do well, but you link your activities directly to the money, which is why you
Right.
work, right? Because like the way that you're set up, like you have to bring in income for the family. It's not like a hobby. It's not like a
That's right.
right. And so
Yeah.
so you're saying, okay, so to go from full-time to part-time, you said like if you knew like trusting yourself that you could do the work and get it done.
Mhm.
And you were starting to say like people were telling you like when you'll have more time to do that thing, so you will get more success from that. and you didn't
Right.
believe them.
I didn't. And I think a lot of it was too, because, when you're in a part-time scenario, you're doing this job, but you're only kind of doing it a few hours here, maybe a few hours there. And when I immersed myself full time, my confidence level started to grow so much this year. And I always knew, I had great reviews. I knew I serviced my clients. I did not realize how much better I could be servicing them. And I'm even touching the file less. I've hired a transaction coordinator. I built a team this year. I have, teammates that I'm super proud of, but there's less involvement from a paperwork standpoint, but this business is all about relationship building. And that's all I'm doing now. And I think that's why I'm succeeding. But I also, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just tell new agents all the time, and still kicking myself as I tell them, like, I wish that I had spent the time focusing on the relationships, because initially when you start, like, you're so worried about the money.
Yeah.
But if you put that aside and you focus on just your clients and, providing for them and servicing them, everything else is going to come, and it comes in twofold.
Yeah. That's true. And that is like the nerve-wracking part. But it also almost sounds like this video is turning into like, what do you need to do in order to make your business stable, right? So that's all it is, from going to part-time to full-time. It's just doing more of those things.
Yeah, I just wasn't doing it frequently enough. And I wasn't focusing, I wasn't setting time aside each day. It was just kind of willy-nilly, like, oh, I got a referral, let me take care of them. But now I'm actively trying to find the business, and that's making a big difference, where I didn't have time for that before.
I feel like it sounds so easy. Why do you think for most people it's so hard to go full time?
I think it's so hard to pull away from an easy, consistent paycheck. And that was hard for me too, because I was so afraid of failing for my family. That's a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And we lived a comfortable enough of a lifestyle off that paycheck. So why would I try to do more?
Yeah, like it sounds like did it like feel a little selfish?
I mean, you gotta live a little bit too. So
no, but I can imagine if you have your family, right? And like you're providing this percentage of income towards like the family household, you're living comfortably. And it's like, I can imagine, I mean, I'm not a mother or wife or whatever, but I can imagine that at some point you would be like, well, what am I giving up for them in order to follow like my dreams,
Yeah, so a little bit, but I will say, I kind of was just okay with making that much, because at the time my husband was the sole income provider. And so my full-time job, even because it was for a nonprofit, like I didn't even make enough to compare to him. So I was just kind of like, oh, I'm contributing, I'm feeling good about it, I'll go hang out with my friends, we're doing great.
Right, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. It's terrible.
That's cool. So if you can go back and you could give yourself advice, what would you say?
I mean, it's just like I told you, I should have made the leap right away. And I know I had small babies at the time, but now I'm learning that didn't even matter. I could have made it work. I could have been so much more successful earlier on.
Better.
What's that?
You might have even made it work better, because you even said like under pressure, you work exponentially better.
Right. But I didn't really know that about myself until I tried it.
Yeah.
And then I realized, man, I kind of like having this pressure on me. I do really well this way.
Like so like worst case scenario for people that are watching this and they're working in real estate part-time because they have a full-time job. What's the worst case scenario? Could you go back to your full-time job? Probably.
Yeah. Or, I mean, worst case scenario, I thought about this several times, and I even told my husband, because I told you it was the worst time for me to do it. And I told him, I'm like, listen, buddy, if I fail, I'll go work at McDonald's. I don't care what I have to do. Like,
everybody
we will
needs
provide,
help. Yeah.
Right? I will find a job. So it's just so frustrating It's
Okay.
frustrating when you have to learn the hard way. And apparently I'm really good at learning the hard way.
We're all hard-headed for
Uh,
sure. But at least you did it now. And these last few months, they have been like exponentially better than what you even
yes.
could imagine. And I think that's another point too. It's like you didn't even know what it was going to be like for you. You had no idea. And you have these sort of like little story of expectation. And it's way even
Yeah.
beyond what you even imagined it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I really didn't have an expectation. I had a hope and a dream and like oh shit, like don't screw up because you can't.
Right.
But it was just, I just can't stop saying like
Right. Do
anybody who is ever considering it, just do it.
do it.
There should be no reason, because I look back now and all those years and time that I wasted on what I could have done kind of sucks, because I am also realizing that I love real estate so much,
Yeah.
and I should have followed that passion early on.
Follow your passions, people.
Yeah, follow your passions.
Well,
Always.
I appreciate you being on again. And if people have a referral for you in Indianapolis, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Oh, yeah, I would love it. Never say no, and I'm always happy to give back. So on Facebook or Instagram, just look for Yellow Letter Group. That's actually my team name,
Yellow what?
Yellow Letter Group.
Oh, I like it. Cute.
Yeah,
Letter
thank
group.
you.
All right. Well, thanks, Victoria. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, always. Bye.